The gift that changed everything. The fluorescent lights hummed softly in the pediatric ward as Sarah Mitchell walked down the familiar corridor. Her white sneakers squeaked gently against the polished linoleum floor. She had been working at City General Hospital for 3 years now, and every step felt like home. Sarah's uniform was clean but worn. The fabric had softened from countless washes, and there were small stains that refused to come out completely. In her pocket, she carried the same things every day: a small notebook, 2 pens, and a pack of tissues. Her salary barely covered her tiny apartment and student loans, but she loved her job more than anything in the world. The morning shift was always busy. Children's voices echoed from different rooms, some crying, others laughing. Sarah moved from room to room, checking on her young patients. She had a gentle way with children that made even the most frightened ones smile. At the end of the hall was room 312. Sarah paused outside the door, looking through the small window. Inside, a little girl sat alone on the hospital bed. Her name was Emma, and she was 7 years old. She had been admitted 3 days ago with pneumonia, and her recovery was slow. Sarah knocked softly and entered the room. "Good morning, Emma," she said with a warm smile. "How are you feeling today?" Emma looked up with tired eyes. Her blonde hair was messy from sleep, and her small hands gripped the white hospital blanket. "I'm okay," she whispered, but Sarah could see she wasn't. "Where's your daddy today?" Sarah asked as she checked Emma's temperature. "He had to go to work," Emma said quietly. "He said he'd be back later, but he's always busy." Sarah's heart ached for the little girl. She had met Emma's father briefly when Emma was first admitted. He seemed like a caring man, but he was clearly overwhelmed. He visited every day but always looked stressed and tired throughout the morning. Sarah noticed that Emma barely touched her breakfast. She stared out the window at the gray city sky, looking so small and lonely in the big hospital bed. During her lunch break, Sarah walked to the small gift shop in the hospital lobby. She looked at the colorful toys and books, but everything was too expensive. Her paycheck wouldn't come for another week, and she had already spent most of her money on groceries and rent. Then Sarah remembered something. At home, in her tiny apartment, she had a special doll. It was the only valuable thing she owned. The doll had belonged to her grandmother, who had given it to Sarah when she was Emma's age. It had beautiful blonde hair and a blue dress that matched its sparkling eyes. Sarah had treasured the doll for 20 years. During lonely nights in nursing school, she would look at it and remember her grandmother's love. It was her most precious possession, the only thing that connected her to her childhood. But as she thought about Emma's sad face, Sarah made a decision. She would bring the doll to the hospital tomorrow. Emma needed something to hold on to, something to make her feel less alone. The next morning, Sarah arrived at work with a small wrapped package. Inside was her grandmother's doll, carefully cleaned and dressed in its finest outfit. Sarah had spent the evening brushing its hair and making sure it looked perfect. When Sarah entered room 312, Emma was awake but staring at the ceiling. Her father had left early for another important meeting. "Emma," Sarah said gently, "I have something special for you." Emma sat up slowly, curious. Sarah handed her the wrapped package. "This is for you to keep while you're here." Emma unwrapped the gift carefully. When she saw the beautiful doll, her eyes grew wide with wonder. "She's so pretty," Emma whispered, holding the doll close to her chest. "Her name is Rose," Sarah said, sitting on the edge of the bed. "She's very special. She's been taking care with me for a long time, and now she wants to take care of you." For the first time since Emma had arrived, Sarah saw her smile. It was a real smile, bright and genuine. Emma hugged the doll tightly and didn't let go for the rest of the day. Over the next few days, Emma's condition improved remarkably, ate her meals, took her medicine without complaining, and even laughed at Sarah's silly jokes. The doll never left her side. Emma would whisper secrets too, Rose and have imaginary tea parties during the long afternoon hours. Sarah felt happy seeing Emma recover, but she also felt a deep sadness. She missed her grandmother's doll terribly. In the evenings, she would look at the empty spot on her dresser where Rose used to sit. But every time she saw Emma's joyful face, she knew she had made the right choice. On Friday afternoon, Sarah was finishing her shift when she heard voices coming from Emma's room. She recognized Emma's father's voice, but there were other people with him. Sarah quietly approached the door. Inside, Emma was introducing Rose to several people in expensive suits. "This is Rose," Emma was saying proudly. "My nurse Sarah gave her to me. She's my best friend." Emma's father, a tall man with kind eyes, was listening carefully. "Tell me more about this nurse, sweetheart," he said. "Sarah is the nicest person in the whole world," Emma explained. "She takes care of me every day. She gave me Rose when I was sad and scared." One of the men in suits whispered something to Emma's father. Sarah caught only a few words. ... Board meeting. Important decision ... That evening, Sarah was cleaning up her station when Emma's father appeared in the hallway. He looked different somehow, more relaxed than she had ever seen him. "Excuse me," he said. "Are you Sarah Mitchell?" "Yes," Sarah replied. "Is Emma okay?" "She's perfect," he said with a smile. "Thanks to you. I'm James Harrison." He paused, as if the name should mean something to her. Sarah looked confused. "It's nice to meet you, Mr. Harrison." James smiled wider. I'm the CEO of Harrison Industries. We own this hospital, along with many others. Sarah's eyes widened in surprise. She had been caring for the daughter of one of the most powerful men in the city, and she had never known. Emma told me about the doll, James continued. About how you gave her your most precious possession when she needed comfort. I want to do something for you. That's not necessary, Sarah said quickly. I did it because I care about Emma. No, James said. That's exactly why I want to help. I'm starting a new program for exceptional nurses. It includes a full scholarship for advanced nursing education, a significant salary increase, and leadership opportunities. I'd like you to be the first recipient. Sarah felt tears in her eyes. I don't know what to say. Say yes, James said gently. Emma needs you, and this hospital needs more nurses like you. From that day forward, Sarah's life changed completely. She continued caring for Emma until the little girl was well enough to go home. With her new opportunities, Sarah was able to pursue her dream of becoming a pediatric nurse practitioner years later. Sarah would often think about that moment when she decided to give away her most precious possession. It had seemed like such a small act of kindness, but it had changed everything. Sometimes the smallest gestures create the biggest miracles, and she found a new home with Emma, where she was loved and cherished just as much as she had been, with Sarah's grandmother, and with Sarah herself. Love, Sarah learned, grows when it's shared.